We all dream that New Zealand can be a place where children can flourish free from all abuse and where they can reach their full potential. But for too many of our little ones, this is not the case. Children continue to be abused and maltreated because the very people who could have made a difference did not recognise the signs and did not know what to do. New Zealand has one of the highest levels of child abuse death in the world, with a ranking of 3rd in the OECD. Up to 57 children a day are proven to be abused, and on average one is abused to death every 5 weeks. For each of these, dozens of children are harmed but never come to the attention of the authorities. You are watching this because you can make a difference. It's important that we all understand the role that the whole community can play in preventing child abuse. Child abuse comes in many forms and many varieties, and the impact is always profound.
Being physical in the school playground or at the pub after a few beers is normal, and that's a good word, that normal, because normal for me was bashing someone or being bashed. That's just normal.
I had a sexual abuse from fathers and brother and father's friends, which started when I was 4, so a lot of the abuse shaped my life.
The impact of that early trauma can be devastating and often lifelong. Survivors are more likely to have lowered self-esteem and less confidence. They're more likely to live with family violence or to have drug and alcohol or mental health problems. They are generally less likely to reach their own true potential.
You know, jug cords whizzing around your back and your legs and all that sort of stuff heals. And there's no real memory of that, but it's the mental torture that stays with you for life.
Childhood through to school learning disabilities, focusing, relationships, work environments, team environments, they play a big part because you've got the major trust issues and all, yeah, it does, it impacts on your whole entire life.
Apparently my therapist said to me that I was a unique case because in our situations, you know, at least one parent might love you, but for me, it wasn't there. And that's hard. I'm 54 years old, and I'm still here.
We may not realise it, but child abuse affects us all. When an abused child is destructive or demanding at school, using the resources that could be shared with other children. When someone can't get a hip replacement because the hospital beds are all full because of violence or alcohol-related incidents. You know, business will not succeed in a society that fails. And we're all affected at work too. We're affected when an employee who's had an abusive childhood has issues at work that affect other staff. When a colleague who was abused as a child becomes a bully at work. Recognising the signs can be difficult. Most children do not tell directly that they're being abused. They believe that adults have understood their behaviour. They think their behaviour is the key. Unfortunately for these children, what generally can happen is that they're labelled as antisocial, destructive, aggressive, and so instead of getting the help they really need, they're punished. How would you know if a child needed your help? Who would you go to? What would you do? These are not easy questions. Children cannot stop child abuse, adults can. There is something that every adult can do. The first step is to learn more, get to understand about child abuse and what can be done to help eliminate it. The next step is to figure out what your part will be in protecting children, whether it is to keep an eye out for a child, spread the awareness of the problem, or to use your skills, talents and relationships in some other way. Child Matters is a New Zealand specialist child abuse prevention organisation. We're the only organisation with the experience and expertise to provide training and education required to make a significant difference. But we can't do it alone. To create a safe haven for our children, it will take the sincere effort of every adult to recognise, identify, report and prevent abuse in its earliest stages. We're hoping that everyone will play their part. Right now, we're working with businesses to help staff understand and learn how they should respond when they fear a child is at risk.
This training has encouraged me to do more, to help more, and to be more proactive about changing people's responses to ensure that a child is safe from harm.
I think we forget that children have a voice, and it's actually made me more aware of giving those children a voice.
By raising the awareness of the public, we're raising the level of care. There's a saying that many eyes keep a child safe.
We're working in New Zealand to build communities of people who will know how to look out for children and how to keep them safe. Everybody knows someone who was abused as a child, even if they're unaware of it. You've probably met a child abuser or have seen an abused child. Child Matters invites you to take the next step. To learn what you might do is to play your part to ensure that children in New Zealand can flourish in an environment free of abuse and neglect. We encourage you to stand up. Work with us, shoulder to protect our children.